Hi, Dr. Tara here. Excited to connect with you on the topic of nutrition. So, if you watched one of our earlier videos talking about the 4 pillars of living fully alive, which is our office name, and the first one being a healthy, fully alive, fully connected nervous system, but the second being a healthy gut. Third, looking at healthy movement or fully alive movement to feed the brain. And lastly, mindset. So today, let's really connect on more of that fully alive nutrition. This is one that is so hard. I know personally it is a confusing one, and it isn't always complex. That's what I'm going to try to make it more simple, but it's not always easy because we have a lot of thought patterns, we have a lot of habits around food. We also do it and eat often mindlessly. So I want to share 3 kind of not basic, but easier tips that I have learned to help me live in a more healthy, more balanced, and definitely more fully alive with the nutrition that I'm getting and feeding my body. And if you want more details, come to our workshops or watch them recorded when we have a holistic nutritionist. She teaches every month. We go through all 4 of our pillars. Each week is a different pillar each month. And so you'll have lots of opportunities to learn from experts. But for me, again, I love learning, and I know this is an area that's super important, and I'm with you. I do not have this down perfect, but I definitely am striving to continue to eat healthier and drink more water and do the things that I know are important, and I'm definitely doing a lot better with it. And again, when I hit 40, I don't believe there's a magic number, but I did see things change, and I've never been a step on the scale girl. And there's pros and cons to that, but the con was I didn't realize until my clothes stopped fitting that over a period of a few years, I had put on 30 pounds. And so I am happy to let you know, not only did I find ways, healthy ways to lose the weight, but to keep it off. It's been over a year, and definitely feeling so much better on so many different levels, not only confidence in how my clothes fit, but my energy. I had been getting headaches and just a lot of different things. Our nutrition really matters. So I'm here to guide and to just contribute to this conversation. This is just a starting point, but hopefully you'll take at least one thing from this video that you're watching, whether you're a patient or you are just curious and learning. You may not even live in Michigan, but we are honored to help connect you with a team. A chiropractor can be an amazing person to have on your health team, not because we know everything, but because of the philosophy we have that our bodies are amazing, that we're created to be healthy and vibrant, and that the choices we make really determine if certain genes are turned on in our life expression, and we can impact that by the choices we make. And nutrition is a huge one of those. So we are either toxic or deficient, or we are sufficient, right? And we have everything we need. So, and pure. So food is kind of the same thing, right? When you look at what is your body doing, if your body's thriving, you keep getting healthier, you're probably giving your body what it needs. But if we're giving our body more toxins, if we are deficient in something, we're not getting enough of a certain vitamin or mineral, then our body's going to tell us, right? Pain is the teacher, fatigue is the teacher, brain fog is a teacher. I know those symptoms are never fun, but they're your body trying to get your attention. So we want to figure out, for me, headaches are almost always dehydration. Sometimes it can be stress. Sometimes I've actually drank all the water I'm supposed to, and if I get a headache, then I know I'm either emotionally stressed or I'm just not handling things optimally, and I have to look at the emotional side. But for me, a lot of times a headache is caused from dehydration. Sometimes it can be postural too. But we always have to look and say, what is my body trying to tell me? So when it comes to nutrition, there's 3 tips that have really helped me that I want to share in these 20 minutes here that we have together. And then I want to encourage you to keep learning, keep in these conversations, because it is an ongoing journey. When I was working with a naturopath with my nutrition, one of the big things she told me is it's not a question of if you're going to fall off the horse, it's a question of when you do, how quickly you get back on. So you may be someone who you're doing great and you're watching this just to add to your repertoire, but most likely that's not the case. Most likely you have fallen off the horse, and hopefully I'm going to give you a tip or two to help you get back on and start living healthier. Not perfect. Perfect is the enemy to us being healthy. We're never going to do perfect. And when we set that as the goal, then we get discouraged and then we just stop it altogether. I kind of went through these fads of like whole life or fast metabolism, like doing all these like super strict, healthy plans, but not being able to sustain it. And then just going back to what I used to do. And now I am going to share with you what I am doing, which will hopefully help you as well. So the first tip to living and eating healthy for me is mindfulness, right? Are you mindful of what you're putting in your body? One of the best ways or best things you can do initially is to actually just record for a week what you're actually putting in your body. You don't have to count calories, but just see it. I'm not great at that, so it's okay if you don't want to do that, but just really start to say, wait, what am I eating? What did I eat today? Was that something that was life-giving or life-draining, right? Did it put more health or did it make me more sick? And you're not going to do everything perfect, but we want to make sure you're going the right direction, that overall what you fed your body is going to take you to that healthiest version of yourself that you want to be, with energy, clear mind, healthy, strong body, right? And all of those other things that you want as goals. So think about what you want, think about where you're at, and now start thinking, what step can you take in your actual health, as far as what you eat, to get where you want to be, right? Those little steps will add up. Now, I have heard it say you can't outrun the fork. A lot of us, and I did this for quite a few years, where I just started to try to exercise more to get to be my ideal weight. And but yet I was still eating a lot because I used to have a really high metabolism, and I could get away with it. But so now I am mindful. I am going to actually choose what I'm eating. Not always. Sometimes I eat because I'm bored. Sometimes I eat because I'm stressed. Sometimes I eat because I'm thirsty. And I really want to challenge you guys to really look at, before you put something in your mouth, am I hungry? Am I hungry? Is this really why I'm eating? Because I have a certain drawer, I don't know if you do in your kitchen, but there is a certain cupboard that I tend to go to. Even when I've done really strict plans, I would open it up and there was nothing in there that I was actually supposed to eat, but out of habit. And so I realized, oh my goodness, I eat because I'm bored often. So are you eating because you're bored? Or more often, is there an emotion, right? Are you trying to meet a need with some comfort through food? And if that's the case, right, that's when we can really get ourselves in trouble. We've all probably done it, eating, again, a tub of ice cream, or for me, I love chocolate. I love almonds, dark chocolate almonds. Seems like it should be a good thing, but when you eat 30 of them, that's a lot of calories and not ideal. So why am I eating, right? Why are you eating? And there are lots of different questions you can go through, but I would say the top 3 would be, am I bored? Am I stressed or emotional? Am I thirsty? And so to answer those, if the first 2 are like, nope, I'm not bored. Oh, I'm not emotional, but I am thirsty. Drink a bunch of water. Even if you're not sure, just drink a big glass of water. See how you feel. Because a lot of times, if we will just wait for a minute, the feeling and that urge will pass. If it doesn't, now you can do the green bean test. And this could be with any vegetable that's healthy. You could do celery. And you're going to give yourself that healthy food and see, does that help you feel a little better? Because if it does, then you might be really hungry. And that's a good time then to say, okay, what do I want to choose to put in my body? So hopefully that helps, right? First of all, we need to be mindful. And when we're eating, how often do we just eat so fast we're not even like enjoying it? I am guilty of this often. And so I want to encourage you to, like, not only when you say great, like, be truly grateful for the food. Don't be doing other things while you're eating, which I can often do, working while I'm eating. Try to be really present. That's going to help. And chew your food. That's another mindfulness tip. So my great grandma, she lived to be 103. She was a chiropractor. She used to say the thing that helped her live the longest, couple things, chiropractic, and secondly, chewing her food. She would literally sit there, and it took her 3 times as long to eat because she chewed every bite 10 to 20 times. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it the 20 times, but just to actually really, like, make it easier on your body by chewing your food, and you will get you will get full faster. You won't feel as hungry, which will also help you do one of our next ones, which is portion control, right? Eating less. Now, I'm not saying I still eat quite a bit, but I'm also exercising more, and I have a better idea of like how much is ideal for me, because you don't want to starve your body. A lot of women don't eat enough, and then their body just hangs on to anything you give it. So we do need to be nourishing our body. We just want to choose the right quality and the right quantity. So I actually, and I've still been doing this over the last year, not every day, but a lot of days, if we're having a meal that's not as healthy, I will use my plate that actually, it looks like a little kid plate because it's got dividers. And so half of that plate is vegetables. And then a quarter of it has my protein. And the other quarter is where if we are having spaghetti or we're having something that's more carbohydrate rich, and then it has its little spot, because that food often it doesn't fill us up. And so we'll just keep eating it without realizing how much we're eating. So portion control, portion awareness, really, right? It's that mindfulness, awareness. And then thirdly, balancing your blood sugar. This was huge for me. I did a program called Optavia. There's so many different options out there, but what I liked about it, it was easy, and there were already pre-made meals. Again, they have every nutrient in them? No, but they're a healthier version of a way to easily get back to that ideal weight and keep your blood sugar really, really level while you're losing weight. And so that really helped me because I was able to not spike my blood sugar and then drop. And then I get really hungry and then I eat a lot and then I spike and drop. And that was, I think, a cause of a lot of the headaches I was having. And so regardless of how you want to do it, if you need some help, it is a great program, especially because I work on the mindset piece. But regardless, you can do it on your own too. So a really great thing to do is to have protein. You don't need to have it with every meal unless you're really trying to lose weight a little quicker. But making sure that if you're having something with a little bit more sugars, little more carbs, that you are balancing that with protein, ideally the protein first, so that you are staying full. And again, there's intermittent fasting. For me, what works is actually eating more frequently, but smaller amounts, and eating every 2 to 4 hours, and just not letting myself get super hungry. Or if you're like me, you might sometimes get hangry if your blood sugar kind of goes all over the place. That's never good either. So many different things you could do. I know we're not digging into the nitty gritty here, but I wanted to keep it more simple. So first, let's be mindful. Am I really hungry? let's be aware, right? What am I putting in my mouth? What quantities am I putting? You may want to look at calories. A good thing for me was starting to actually weigh myself weekly so that I'm not surprised that I put on 30 pounds. Instead, I can kind of pivot if I've put on a couple pounds. You don't have to weigh yourself every day. It's not a reflection of if you're an amazing person or not. It's awareness. Right? And if something's measurable, then we can impact it and we can shift it and we can change it. And so that's been helpful for me. And then balancing your blood sugar. So definitely there are different qualities of food. The more organic you can buy, the better. Aldi's got great options that are a little more cost effective and a lot of organic options. But also stress is worse for you than eating something that's not organic. So don't stress about it. Do as good as you can. If you are doing 1% better today than you did yesterday, you're going the right way. And if you continue to add that up, before you know it, you will be closer to your ideal weight. Now, I know my sister, she wasn't sure. She actually was over 100 pounds over her ideal weight. And I'm so proud of her because not only did she lose over 100 pounds, but she's kept it off too. And she feels so good because that extra weight, I mean, it was just crazy. She took a picture of her with these 3 30-pound, I think she lost 125 pounds actually, but 3 30-pound bags of seed that represented the 120 pounds, and just crazy to think of that on her joints and all of that. So just know there are people out there to help no matter where you're at. This is not just part of getting older. We do not have to feel yucky in our own skin. The reality is we need to just become more aware, and there are tools and tips and tricks and different ways to get your body back into balance, get your metabolism geared up again, and get your body working for you. The more you nourish your body, the more sufficient, right? The more pure the food is, the water is. That was a big one for my sister, was cutting out all the sugar drinks. So crazy. Alcohol was something that we both cut out altogether while we were losing weight. There's a lot of different things that they seem hard, maybe for some, and they can be, but it's more hard when you're not sure. It's almost easier to be like, here's how I'm going to eat. I'm going to put good stuff in my body, and then we're going to see what happens. And when you do that, you start to get that reward. That was what I saw with her, where she started to feel so much better that it was easy to say no to other things. Now, what do I do? And when it comes to desserts, we just had Thanksgiving. Now what I do is give myself permission. If I do feel like I really want that dessert, but I'll only eat 3 bites, or take a really little piece and really enjoy it. And then also tell myself, like, great job making a lot of good choices and putting more health and more life in your body. So it doesn't mean you have to deprive yourself of all the things that you love forever. Sometimes we need to get a little more strict for a tiny bit of time, but we don't want to be on this diet roller coaster, which is why I loved the program that I did, because we dug into the mindset piece too. And really, like, why do you want to be a certain weight? How do you want to feel? And what can you do to get the best quality of food into your body? And how much should you be eating? You know, just different things like that, that we kind of know, but we haven't really had somebody come beside us and help us do it. So we're here to help you at whatever capacity. Just know you are beautiful no matter what weight you are. And if you could be healthier, nutrition's a great way to not only reach that ideal weight, which is easier on your body, but a great way to give yourself energy for your life. That's what it's all about, living fully alive. So join us for workshops. Carly will jump into a lot more detail, how to decrease inflammation with food, how to balance your hormones with food, how, which foods exactly are going to do that, how to make bone broth from scratch. I mean, so many great things that aren't my specialty, but I just want to encourage you. Join us. You don't have to navigate this crazy, confusing world of nutrition on your own. And we have a community who are all getting healthier together. And we'd love for you to join us at a Tuesday night workshop or watch online. God bless.